Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? So I thought I'd jump on here and do a quick update. I get a lot of you guys message me. Of course, a lot of you guys stop by the hangar and ask me a lot of questions. There's a lot going on at the airport. Of course, for anybody that's jumping in anywhere else in the country, I'm talking about the KCOE airport, or the Pappy Boyington Airport in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or Hayden, Idaho. We've got some changes coming. I think that's great. And we've had an airport that definitely hasn't been GA friendly in any way, shape, or form in the last 5 or 6 years that I've been here. So I think some of that's changing. But for some reason, I get asked a lot of questions, I think because I'm outspoken. So I thought I would bring you guys the... Well, in this particular video, I'm gonna bring you guys my personal feelings. So for anybody that wants to see both sides, I think I'm gonna give you a little bit of both sides. But on the same token, I want to make sure that I think I represent the majority of the population of GA pilots at this airport. So I thought I'd give you my take on that. So we'll start off with. There's been a new county board. So our county here in Kootenai County is made up of 3 commissioners. We've got a new electee, I think that's what it's called. And that electee has been appointed the airport liaison for the county. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Real great. I think he's enthusiastic about the airport and kind of the direction of the airport. He's put in a lot of... what's the word I'm looking for? He's paid attention. He's asked questions. So I think that's good. For anybody that's here, that's been here, that's struggled, we've seen for anybody that doesn't know, we've had, or most airports have, a advisory board, typically is made up of end users of the airport, that advises the airport manager, kind of works with them, and they propose different things, vote on it, and then it kind of rolls up into a recommendation to the county commissioners or the city entities that own it, or the owners of the airport. So there's normally an advisory board, people that are here day in and day out, that make those decisions, or at least recommendations. I won't say decision, that's the wrong word, recommendations. When our new Bruce, our new county commissioner and airport liaison, came in, he asked all of those members to step down, which I think, personally, I think it was the best thing that could happen. That board or committee was made up of non-aviation related people. Now, they were people from the community, but they definitely were not aviation related. So when you bring somebody in to make recommendations on an airport, and they don't utilize the airport, they're not pilots, they don't know anything about the airport, it's hard for them to make educated decisions on how that's going. So if you had, somebody that had a ulterior motive or a direction they wanted to go, everybody would vote yes. And I think we've seen that. There's 7 people, I do believe, on that board, so we've seen that happen. And we just had some decisions being made that affected, 100, 200 people here on this airport, I would say in a negative way. So that board is getting reappointed. Now, some of those people may be back on it, and I think that's great. I said, at least if somebody's looking at their background and kind of deciding what role they play, that's good. So we're going to go and see how that plays out. I think this week, looks like at some of the county board meetings, we're going to see some of those appointments, kind of going from there. So we've had an airport, as most of you guys know, that's been a GA airport, I think, since the 40s. We've got 2 runways. We've got a long runway, a short runway. Of course, we're a hotspot during the summer months for the rich and famous, I'll just say that, to show up here. So we are a vacation destination location for sure. But we're also made up, being Northern Idaho and being pilots, and for any of you guys out there that are aviators and pilots, Idaho backcountry is kind of a dream place to go and fly. Go camping. We've got phenomenal backcountry airports here. It's a destination that pilots all around the country want to come to. And we have not catered to them as an airport in a long time. Our 100 low lead price here is the highest the highest around. We have a monopoly here on the airport with FBOs. We had a couple FBOs on this airport, and historically we had a gentleman come in or an entity come in and buy out one of the FBOs, the long-standing FBOs, and built a beautiful facility that's really taken care of the jets, but have really left the GA behind. And as most of you guys know, it's typically not the jets that keep GA airports going. Now, if you have a John Wayne or you have a LaGuardia or a O'Hare, yeah, the big jets keep that stuff going. But at the end of the day, the ups and downs of the economy, the ups and downs and everything else, it's the GA that keeps these airports going. It's the hangar rents from those people. It's maybe we don't fly as much when money's tight, but we still fly. We typically hold on to our aircraft and do that. So we're in an area that everybody wants to come to fly. Doesn't matter if you're in Florida, Texas, Maine, California, wherever you want to come here and fly. The next best thing would be Alaska. That would be the step up from here. But that's a long flight for a lot of people. Idaho, and especially North Idaho, is definitely attainable by most all aircraft in the continental U.S. So people come here. They come here in droves, especially during the summer. They come here for float plane training. They come here for backcountry training. They come here to land on grass strips. We need to be an airport that caters to them, just like we bring in all of the rich and famous and movie stars that come here during the summer to go to Gaza Ranch or to go to some of these other locations around this the beautiful lakes we have here. We're getting people come in. Are they spending different amounts of money? Yes, but they're still spending money. They're still coming here. They still need to be taken care of. And we've got people running FBOs that lose sight of that. They don't, well, my personal opinion, they don't enjoy aviation. They don't love aviation. I love aviation. I do what I'm doing here because I love aviation. So we've got that. So back to the county board, we've got an airport manager here that some people love and some people hate. I've had my fair share of run-ins. I think with some direction, he could be a phenomenal airport manager, but he needs that direction. He needs to be told what direction the airport's going. We need to have a strong county commissioner presence. We have to have some guidance on that, and we need to make some changes to the minimum standards. Minimum standards is kind of like our own personal airport Bible. With that Bible comes some rules and regulations around the airport. That's been amended a couple different times. This airport has some odd things in that minimum standards, I'll say that. I think it caters towards, and I think they were wrote for certain entities on this airport. I just do. We've got a line in there that says, to be an FBO, what services you have to provide. And that's fine. But when you look around, there's entities on this airport that provide the FAA and the FARs. Right here, I'll show you. And the FARs have a minimum standards or recommendations and what services FBOs would provide. There's entities here like us. We provide 6 or 7 of the 9 listed services in that. We don't provide fuel. So because we don't provide fuel, we can't call ourselves an FBO. We do everything else. We have crew cars, we have rental cars, we have maintenance, we have tires, we have bathrooms, we have Wi-Fi, we have everything other than fuel, but we can't call ourselves an FBO. That's something's wrong there. You look at the airport directory across the country, you see small shops and big shops that provide those FBO services as FBOs, so people know when they come in, they can look it up. What FBO do I want to go to? What FBO is going to provide the services I need at the most affordable rate? That shouldn't be you have to fit inside of this box. If you provide those services, list yourself as an FBO. That's just one example of things that need to change here. We've got some airport lease stuff that's weird. You can lease a property at this airport. You could pay all the fees. You can pay insurance. You can pay your lease. You could pay design fees. And if you don't build in 2 years, that lease gets revoked. It gets pulled from you. 2 years. In today's economy, it's up. We've got people that have had property here for a long time. In my mind, that's another way for the people that have and the have-nots, if you say at this airport, to control who's building what and who's doing what at this airport. If you're paying for it, just like anything in the country, if you're paying for it and you're taking care of it, it should be yours. That should never go away. If you got in when nobody wanted that piece of property, you should be able to do it. That's a problem. We pay the same lease rate, and some of you guys across the country might find this interesting. We pay the same lease rate for our ground lease that's under roof as it is outside. So our taxiway or our ramp space or our grass that we have to mow and water costs us the same amount of money, even though it's not useful, as our under roof. That's not normal. That's not how it is around the country. Normally you pay for your ramp space a different rate. Typically it's a third to 25 to 30% of under roof rate because you make money under roof. So there's some things there that need to change, that need to get brought up. I would say, for lack of better explanation, we've had some hostility at the management level of this airport towards some, not all, towards some at the airport. I think that'll change with some direction. I really think it'll change with some direction. We've got some phenomenal airport facilities people here at this airport. They take care of all the things they need to take care of, keep the runways plowed, keep the airport operating, which I think is great. So, for you guys answering that or asking the questions, what's going on? We see some of these emails from the people around the airport of, we don't know when the advisory board's going to meet again. We're not getting direction there. Well, the advisory board's going to meet when they get a new board, we have people on there that can make decisions that are going to affect this airport in the more positive way. We've got to get this airport headed in the positive way. We have to change the feeling. We've got to change the feeling of this airport. This feeling of this airport's not welcoming. I mean, we've got people leaving in droves. We've driving flight schools off this airport because their leases, the buildings that they were in leasing, were bought out from underneath them. And a competitor came in and said, you either going to rent to us and be part of us, or you're going to go away. We've drove these kids away. Like, we're trying to grow aviation nationally, globally. We're trying to grow aviation. The best thing for aviation, flight schools to flourish, the small maintenance shops to flourish, and making it welcoming, making it to where people can come down and ask questions and find out what's going on and meet CFIs and meet pilots, meet commercial pilots, airline pilots, fireboss pilots, jet pilot, you name it, meet all those pilots and figure out if that's a great career path. One, if it's a career path for them, or two, if it's something they're interested in recreationally. Recreationally flying in Northern Idaho is phenomenal. It's some of the best flying out there. So yes, absolutely we should be, promoting recreational flying here. We should have a parallel grass runway. It should be mowed. It should be level. It should be very, very welcoming for that. We don't have that. I've brought that up. It's too much money, I hear, or we don't want to do it, or we don't want to support it. Well, we should. I mean, we can go over to Phelps. It's a towered airport in the state of Washington. Depending on what political side you're on, some would say that's good or bad, but they have a grass runway. They have a water runway. They're welcoming. They have cheap fuel. I can fly to the international airport. Here's an example. I can fly to GEG. I can fly there, call the FBO on the radio. They will come out and fuel my airplane. I don't even have to get out of the airplane, or none of my flight instructors have to get out of the airplane. They will fuel it for cheaper than I can get fuel self-serve at my home airport for 100 low lead. That's a problem. If we don't realize that's a problem, that's why we're struggling as an airport, is just that. We don't sell much 100 low lead. I'm the largest 100 low lead purchaser on the airport, probably by double anybody else. I don't even get a break. I'm paying exactly what you guys pay for your 100 low lead. I used to when there was 2 FBOs on this airport. I don't anymore. I don't get a break. I pay exactly what you guys pay. and I'm kind of tied to it. As busy as we are, I can't fly somewhere to go get fuel. I have to sit here and pay the rate there. And I supply fuel. I've got fuel at Brooks. I've got my own, I've got permits. I've got everything in place to do fuel. There's not a lot of money in fuel, and we know it, and it's not something that anybody necessarily wants to get into. I know there's fuel coming. I've heard that, I know there's fuel coming on the South Ramp. There's going to be a self-serve island there here very shortly, it looks like. I've heard that Coeur d'Alene Aviation, I heard this, is going to be selling 100 low lead, so they're going to be bringing in fuel. Let those guys battle it out, and hopefully that'll help us all on prices, get our prices down. But yeah, that's what I've heard is people are running around and saying these things. So I think that'll be good, but we've got to get rid of the monopolies on this airport. It doesn't make sense. It's not good for aviation. Monopolies aren't good in anything. I mean, you look at it, I'm all for, yeah, make money, prosper, and do all that. But when you're in, my wheelhouse, which I would say aviation, I love aviation. Aviation's a passion of mine. Aviation wasn't something, I grew up flying and doing all that, grew up in Alaska, but when I look at what aviation's given me and my family, my kids learned how to ride bikes at an airport. Literally learn how to ride their bikes on taxiways and at airports. They've grown up there. That was the hangout. We had barbecues. On the weekends, that's where my family was at. We need to change that to here. God forbid my kids are out running around or riding a bike on the taxiway here, they're gonna get yelled at. Those stuff like that's gonna change. You never hear of that, but most airports and small airports are like that. We all grew up there, especially if you're an aviator. If you're not an aviator, go to your local airport, talk to people and check them out, see what's going on. We do barbecues here, pancake breakfasts, and welcoming to get people in here and answer all the questions. I'm not going to charge you. Come in, get a soda, get a muffin, get some cookies, some pistachios, water, coffee. I've got a nice coffee maker that makes all kinds of specialty drinks. Come in and talk. All that's free. Find out about aviation and find out about this airport. We've got the Bird Aviation Museum, and people that run that is phenomenal. This airport's got all kinds of great things, and we don't work together as an airport. So I think some of that's going to change here in the near future with some of the changes coming. So for you guys that are local, asking, I'm very positive about the new advisory board. I think we'll have that here in the next week or two. I think they'll get back to some normal meetings. I'm excited to propose the changes that I think need to be changed to the minimum standards so we can get this airport righted. I think we're a sinking, ship right now at sea. Listing, we need to turn the pumps on. We need to turn on the bilge pumps and pump this thing out. I think we can do that once we get some people that really understand this airport. The other thing I've been getting a lot of questions about is the Avports, this new airport terminal proposed thing. Airlines are coming to Coeur d'Alene, and it's fantastic. I'm gonna have a $30 flight to Boise or Vegas or wherever. Other people are like, we don't want the noise, we don't want all this stuff. I get all of that stuff. I'm definitely here for trying to promote business at this airport. So I don't know if it's a good fit or not. I can tell you that Avports, I've sat down and talked with them, very nice guys. I think they run a really tight ship. How and why they found this airport, I find it intriguing, I'll say that. Yes, we've got a lot of people that come through here during the summer. Is it enough, and have we had enough growth to sustain a airline? Maybe. I don't think a legacy airline, not with GEG this close. GEG has terminals, have fuel, have infrastructure there ready to go. Avports wants to come in. They're proposing to build a small facility on what I would say the GA side of the airport. Hopes to lure in a bigger an airline. I won't say bigger. Their hopes to lure in an airline and then be able to develop a bigger facility, is my understanding, somewhere else on the airport. Pros and cons to that. Pros would be if we had it and we had cheap airfare. Does that really happen? Typically, no. That's not what's going to happen here. Not when you have a competing airport that's at I would argue 30% capacity at GEG, and you have all the legacy airlines coming in and out of there. Southwest, Alaska, I think Delta flies out of there, all of the above. They're not going to come in and do, they're going to drop their rates. That it puts a squeeze here. Other negatives, I think, on this, there is a lot of off-site improvements. Now, when I say off-site improvements, it's not just the leasehold. Yes, they're going to come in, they're going to get a 50-year lease on a piece of property that probably won't work for 50 years if they truly get an airline here. But there's a lot of neighborhood development that has to be done. Even if it's 200 or 300 additional cars a day, we're coming through small neighborhood, 25 mile an hour, small neighborhoods, to do this. So we've got to look at that, see what the cost of that is going to be. There is a cost to that. We can't sugarcoat it. We can't lie about it. We can't do any of those types of things. There's a cost to improving city streets. Now, do some of those city streets need to be improved already? Of course, they're old streets. Do they need to be in streets or improved for that kind of traffic? I would say they would not be on a budget to be improved for that much additional traffic. That much additional traffic is going to create stoplights, stop signs in places that there's not. Weight limits and things like that are going to change paving. So we've got that. Good, bad, or indifferent. Maybe the county wants to do it. I know a lot of that city of Hayden, so the city of Hayden would have to be on board, and they'd have to come up with that money in bonds or whatever they're going to do to improve that, and it would have to be done pretty quickly. It's not going to be able to not be done. The other side of that is on the airport side of it. So we have a county airport that gets federal grants to do improvements. So we're improving our runway 624. I think they're voting on that on the 7th. So anybody that wants to go and be a part of that discussion, please go to the county board meeting and voice your concerns on that. I think it's $6 or $7 million improvement on 624. There's a projected decoupling, which means we have two airports that kind of touch like that at a 45. They're going to shorten one of the runways is what they're proposing to do that. So we get money federally yearly to improve this airport and or maintain this airport. There's some stuff that we have to do safety-wise to keep it going. Other things are wants that we want to do. Those wants typically have been brought down by our airport manager. I mean, that he's kind of watching and saying what he wants, and he's getting some guidance by the once a year the FAA comes out. They do a survey of the airport and they write a report. Things we're passing on, things we're failing on, things we need to improve on. Security, safety, airport taxiways falling apart or runways falling apart, and then they'll lend us money on grants that we write to them. So we see that, we know that's out there. So we're going to go and do that. There's going to be some money and some recommendations. Sorry about that. Or somebody's calling like mad on the other phone, but we'll get them. So there has to be some improvements of taxiways and runways, and probably a relocation of a runway if we were to get 737 or Airbus A320 airplanes here coming to a terminal. Those are the planes you're typically going to want to fly to get somewhere, to go somewhere, okay? Those airplanes require certain distances. Right now, one of our taxiways, I believe, or I've heard, is too close to our runway 220 to carry that kind of aircraft. So that means either the taxiway or the runway or a combination thereof is going to have to be moved to facilitate those aircraft with as many as they want to bring in, or they're projecting to bring in, to be able to break even on that. So Avports wants to come in. I think they have deep pockets. I think they'll build a beautiful facility. I think the temporary one doesn't make sense. I saw two projections. This is my kind of personal ideas. I've seen them. This small temporary terminal facility they're trying to build on the east side of the airport, which is predominantly GA. And then I saw this beautiful location on the north side of the runway, typically where that's more jet side. It's where our big FBO is. It's where people are going. It's next to the big runway. It's the shorter distance. Makes the most sense. And they say, well, that one over there is going to cost $20, $25 million. This one over here is going to cost $5 million. But if they were to build this small one to see if they're going to come on the north side and start developing that property, it's going to cost the same $5 million. So it doesn't cost any more. They've displaced 6 people. So the lot they're looking at, or they're proposing to lease, there were 6 people that had applied for, so they filled out a lease application. They paid $500 for that lease application, and they submitted it to the airport manager for an executed lease. They had meetings about the underground utilities and what they were going to do with that, and so on and so forth. When Avports came in, those leases, I guess, were put on hold or terminated, or those lease applications were put on hold or terminated. So you have 6 people, end users, all GA, that were going to build hangars. They were going to do it in their 24-month parameter. All of the stuff they needed to do were committed to spending the money for the underground utilities that the airport was going to do, or the county, which doesn't make any sense. Having a public entity do off-site improvements or utility improvements costs 30 to 40% more than it should to the private end user. The private end user should be responsible for developing that at their cost. That's normal. That's what it works all around the country. That's just construction 101. That is my background. I know that inside and out. That's how it should be done. It shouldn't be a county burden, but it is, and their county's passing that burden on to, or we're passing it on to those 6 people. Those were all put on hold. Yes, were some of those people displaced into other leases, or I should say, were some of those people's displacement out of those leases given other opportunities? Yes. You know how I know? Because one of those opportunities was mine. So I know 3 or 4 of the people there that were displaced. I've had a lot. I had a handful of lots here on the airport that we were working on getting built. We weren't able, with COVID and with the cost increases, to cover we were going to pay out of pocket. Now we had to get financing and change kind of what we were going to do and change design fees. So I'm over my 24-month time limit. And I've got charged some of the underground utility development. Again, that wasn't wrote into the original lease that now is in there. The wording has changed. I won't get into that. That's my own thing. A lot of people have heard that in other videos. But one of those people got one of my lots. So I got kicked off of one of my lots. We've been paying on. We've been doing everything we can. We've done design fees and insured and all this different stuff. For somebody that got kicked off another lot, so Avports can come and build a temporary facility hoping to lure in a airline. So yes, those people, some of those people got it, and they got these other lots on the backs of people that I would say do positive things for this airport. So yeah, for you upper management and you city council, or the county council members, you know, that's what's happening. So you know, we're here for the little guy and the big guy, but the little guy seems to always get squished, or the guy that's doing the most good, I would argue, at this airport is the one making the most sacrifices. So that's something to think about. So yeah, there is a cost to all of that displacement around there. And then when they move, what happens? They've built a terminal on the GA side of an airport that we say, well, then the city or the county has a terminal. Well, no, if they couldn't make it work, we don't need a terminal. That's wasted space. Nobody's going to move into a terminal. There's no FBO that's like, I'm glad I've got a terminal space. There's a, you know, whatever. And it doesn't make any sense for anything on this airport. It would just literally be a building that is useless. So what I think, take it to the north side. Build whatever you want to build. If you want to invest the money and you're going to do it out of pocket and you're going to spend that money, build your temporary facility on a piece of property that's yours. If you don't want it, it's on the north side. The jet guys can consume you or do whatever they're going to do. It doesn't make any sense. But do it over there. Don't do it on the GA side, to where we have to improve runways, taxiways, city streets, and all the other different types of stuff to take care of all of the traffic there. It just doesn't make sense. There's no way, shape, or form that it makes sense. Yes, we would write grants. Is it going to cost the taxpayers? Yes, it's going to cost taxpayers some. To say that it isn't is insinuating that we're all ignorant. Nobody at this airport or in this county is ignorant at all, period. We're not. So it's going to cost us. Is there a convenience with having an airport here? Yes. If we could get somebody here, there's probably a convenience to a standpoint, but we're only going to get flights to 1 or 2 locations. Starting out, it would take 10 or 20 years to get to a point that we were taking care of people like GEG is, to where I need to get to New York, I need to get to Dallas, I need to get to Southern California, wherever you want to go. We're going to get 1 or 2 lines going back and forth to somewhere that we're to a hub. Same thing we do at GEG. We fly out of GEG, we go to Seattle, we go to Portland. If you're on the West Coast, that's where you go. You go over there and get on an airliner going back and forth, or we're flying on a turboprop. We have an existing airline here. Empire Airlines been here for like 30 years at this airport. They've run, I think it's Ohana or something, airlines out of Hawaii. You're going to tell me that an airline that's existing at this airport, that's not running service off this airport, if there was business in it and it made sense financially, I guarantee you that they would throw their hat in the ring for service. They've got ATRs sitting on the ramp that aren't doing anything. They have all of the certifications in place to do it, and they're not doing it. So something's telling me that the local guy that's been here 30 years, that's deciding not to run air charter out of here, it probably knows the market a little bit better than market research. But that's just my own personal opinion. So that's where I'm standing on the terminal here at this airport. I would love to sit down in a debate forum with anybody that wants to say good, bad, or indifferent on kind of what's happening on any of those things. I'm real open and honest about it. I would love to communicate with that. If somebody says I'm wrong in one way, shape, or form, and wants to have a talk about it, let's do it. Let's do it on a YouTube video. Let's let everybody see what these talks look like and the points, because I've got good points, I feel, and I don't feel there's any points that people are going to be able to go back and forth on. So that's kind of what I've got there. You know, again, getting back to, this is a great airport. It's going to be, I think, one of the best airports in Idaho in the next 36 months. I think there's some direction changes coming. We're going to get people that love aviation and passionate about aviation and flights being more involved with this airport. There's a lot that have been involved and their voices just aren't heard. We have a great private airport association. For anybody that's here that is involved or has a hangar or an airplane or flies, I encourage you to get signed up and become a member of the Coeur d'Alene Airport Association. It's great. It's run by a great group of guys that are passionate about aviation. They love flying. They want to see this airport prosper. They don't want to see it capped. They want to see it prosper in any way it can possibly grow and do that. But we need to go and do that. So what else do I got? I think I'm kind of hitting all of those things on the head there. I think we're going to see some changes. I'm going to propose some stuff with this new county board. I think the county board is going to help guide the airport manager here at the airport on the direction that multiple people feel it should go, rather than 2 or 3 entities at this airport, where they're going to have a group together decision making on that and kind of go from there. So we'll see how that goes. I'm getting about 35 minutes here, so in closing, I just thought I would we'd kind of talk about that, go over those types of things. I'm excited. Anybody wants to come down, please come down. Come check out our high school program. Come just say hi. Check out our airplanes. Give us a thumbs up or a like on social media. For YouTube, if you subscribe and follow, there's going to be a lot more of this. There's going to be a lot more flying stuff. When we get back flying the Beech 18, we're going to have a lot of videos up that. It's not just me talking about this type of stuff. I want everybody to enjoy it. I've got a fly in next week, so there'll be some YouTube videos up for that, going from there. So thank you everybody for paying attention and hanging out. I want to say everybody go fly their airplane. I know weather's kind of crappy here today, but if you're anywhere else in the country, go fly your airplane. Send me pictures, let me know what's going on, and come say hi. Thank you very much, guys. Later.